What's up? What's up? What's up? It's your boy Darren Green. Welcome to the Darren Green Show, your one-stop shop for celebrity gossip, news and music, pop culture, and the latest gab on social media. Be sure that if you are watching this on YouTube to leave your thoughts in the comment, leave a like, and if you're not subscribed to the channel, what are we doing? Okay, subscribe to that channel, but I know, I got some ops too, because hey, ops, how you doing, ops? For the audio listeners, please be sure to leave a rate and a review, because we love those. Now, we got to get into some things. But before we get into some things, chat, okay, I got to debrief. Okay, there's some topics that I want to get into. I don't know if you guys watched. If you did, whatever, I did TMZ. I don't know if I might show the little video clip here. It might get flagged because you know how YouTube be different, child. Because I think I posted the last episode and I had parts of Bia's song on there. And why the creator, team talk about we got to split payments with this video because this is taken from this producer. It didn't even say her name. It just said the producer. I'm like, dang, man, you don't even own your songs, honey. You don't even own your songs, honey. Your name didn't even pop up. The damn producer did. So I got to split whatever I made off that last episode, which is probably, girl, you getting pennies anyway. But I'm just saying, dang. Okay, so I'm not sure if I want to show the TMZ spot, but it really wasn't. Like, girl, let me tell y'all about that. So on Tuesday, that's when I did it, they gave me topics. Usually how it goes, and I don't know if I'm supposed to talk about this, but I don't know. They might not call me back after this thing because I gave them very much. I'm sorry, y'all gave me the curveball and I gave y'all a curveball, okay? So basically, they give me a bunch of topics that they wrote the day before or whatever on their website or whatever. The topics that I picked was the Kanye West story. We're going to get into that a little bit later. And then also, there was a Chipotle story. There was a fight that broke out at a Chipotle. Had a funny little thing for that. And then there was also Jennifer Lopez. People were surprised about how, the Atlas movie was, despite its bad reviews. And I had a funny quip for that too. And they completely was like, let's talk about Kevin Costner. I'm like, who that man? Who? This is literally like a good, I give him a good 30 minutes to an hour before my part was supposed to come on. And they just asked me like, hey, this is like our leading story. Why don't you read this article? We'll talk about this, whatever. And this is not me getting into TMZ because look, I want to work for y'all one day. I ain't got a problem with y'all. I love y'all. Please hire me. Okay, if y'all got some openings, okay. I could be your content writer. Okay, I get to the topics. Okay. But they threw me with a curveball because I'm like, I don't know who this Kevin Costner is. I've never heard of him. Okay. Like even the people in the office that I work at, they were like, who that? Apparently it was some topic, child. If you do watch it, he talks about how he did narcotics back in the day and like he stopped or whatever. And people are like so surprised when he talked about it on the podcast. I said what I said, but it just was not like, it's not like I messed up or anything like that. It just was not, it didn't gag nobody, honey. It's just, I just regurgitated what the topic was. I was like, oh my God, it was so candid. Of him to speak about his topic or his situation and that it's an expensive drug and just stuff like that. Like I wanted to talk about the Kanye West story, okay? And I feel like the person that they got for the Kanye West story did not give what it was supposed to have gave, okay? I'm just being real honest. I'm sorry, okay? It did not give what it's supposed to have gave. I'm going to share y'all, once we get to that topic, what I was going to say, okay? But yeah, that happened. It was okay. It was a good moment. I was on TV for like good 10 seconds again, So I'm proud of it. I'm, happy for myself about that. Whatever. They might call me again. I don't know. Girl, I probably didn't give it to him like I gave it to him last time. Because I had if y'all did watch my first one, I did have the host gagging a little bit in the beginning, okay? Because I had a funny little joke. But this, I just really was caught off guard and it just, whatever. Anyway, it happened and we're moving on. But anyway, let's get into the topics. We got a lot to get into, okay? We got to talk about Ice Spice and Meg Thee Stallion's album cover that people found atrocious. We also have to talk about Young Miami talking about why the City Girls split, okay? Then we got to talk about Trina speaking on her team and how unprofessional they were with that whole Nicki Minaj collaboration. We'll talk about Kanye West and his sexual harassment lawsuit that's happening, okay? And then we'll talk about Fenty Beauty and then Tyler Perry making another lackluster film about a Black woman dealing with trauma. All that and more coming up on the Darren Green Show. Let's get into our first topic, okay? Because I want to get this one out the way. I don't have much. Well, I mean, I do have much to say about it. We can get into the 2 album covers here, okay? So we all know Megan is dropping her highly anticipated album, Megan. Ice Spice is dropping her highly anticipated first album, Y2K. Okay. Okay, social media has been talking about these up and coming album covers, and it's nothing nice. Nothing nice at all. Okay. They both were taken by photographer David LaChapelle. Okay, yes, LaChapelle. And I actually got his Instagram right here, you know, just to see, you know, this is definitely his work and stuff like that. Like, he worked with Megan in the past. I guess this is his first time with Ice Spice. A lot of his stuff is like similar, like not similar, but it's like art, pop art, very, you know, a lot of Photoshop, but art. I don't know if did he do these pictures? Oh, he must have been around for a minute. Anyway, yeah. So this, he does a lot of various models and some celebrities. Oh my goodness, palette cleanser. Anyway, yeah, so he did Meg Thee Stallion and Ice Spice's album covers, and the internet is not feeling it. They weren't feeling Meg Thee Stallion's. We're going to get into that first. Okay, for starters, these don't look like album covers. I'm going to start off by saying that. They don't look like album covers. I think because these artists are big, these are big artists to a certain degree, whoever decides what, you know what I'm saying? I consider Ice Spice and Meg Thee Stallion, they're one of the biggest. Ooh, not one of the biggest, child. Ooh, let me stop myself for somebody correct me, honey. They are a moment right now. Let's be very clear. Ice Spice and Meg Thee Stallion, they are big artists. I expected a bigger production. Okay. This looks over edited. I think the album cover is heavily photoshopped. I think Megan has her version with, okay, let me go on her page. Cause her version has the M in the back. Ooh, child, a whole lot of ass. Her version has like the M in the background. Girl, that looked like something that they found out of Microsoft Word Times New Roman M. Like, girl, what is this? And the album is called Megan. So it's a self-titled album. You would think that if this is going to be a self-titled album, we need a shoot. We need an actual like on-set type shoot. This looks very much like she took some cute little pictures or whatever that he used in Photoshop, cut them out, paste her in on this. What I'm thinking is a cocoon. This looked like some type of hallway. It looked like some part of a mall. It's giving liminal space, like back rooms type area location. I don't know. The picture also looks confusing. I don't know what's happening. Okay, she's coming out of a cocoon. This is very much off theme because you have been promoting snakes, serpents, and we're doing caterpillars, butterflies, or moth, whatever the hell. Like and I'm not like a stickler when it comes to sticking to theme, you know, because you can have many different themes. It doesn't have to be one thing, you know, because or maybe I am a stickler because I don't know when Nicki did it, and I don't mean to bring up Nicki just to be shady or whatever, but like when she did it with Queen, and it was like, okay, you doing Queen, but you started off with Chun-Li, so we thought it was gonna be like that, and then you gave us Queen, okay, and then we had the Sphinx. You were a Sphinx or some shit like that. I guess there was some queens in Egypt or whatever. It definitely gave Cleopatra a little bit, but I don't know. Like I was expecting, I don't know, big corsets and wigs to the moon and stuff. I honestly feel like there should have been more practical effects. And look, I know I said a lot about the photoshopping. I don't have a problem with people using Photoshop. Let's be very clear. Photoshop is probably utilized mostly when it comes to making album covers. But when you oversaturate it with a lot of these edits, it looks cheapened. You get what I'm saying? That's why I said they could have used more practical effects. Hell, get a real cocoon. Get a real cocoon. Okay? Have it in that position. Make it doesn't look like she was really there. Like it just this looked like, girl, take some pictures. We gonna put it upside down. We're going to cut you out of it, put you upside down, put you in this room. I don't know what's going on. I really just don't know. Like I said, it could have had more practical effects and maybe it would have looked more real. The body is T. She always going to give body. But I just if this is gonna be like this complicated, I'm expecting the music to get that same energy. Just saying. Okay. You want to be that eclectic? Okay. What you got? Okay, let's see that track list. As for Ice Spice, maybe this was a little bit on brand for her. Not me reneging, honey. Maybe it was on brand for her. I don't know. I thought too that this was going to be a little bit more grander, being that this is highly anticipated. People have been waiting on her to come out with an album. She has been teasing it heavily. She's been teasing the name. Like, she gave us this name like way before we even had a date. It's apparently coming out July 26th. Okay. Now, mind you, this is a 10-track album, and 2 of those tracks got that fart song and Give Me the Light, which both, I'm gonna let you fill in the blank. Okay. So you got 9 songs to prove that this is gonna be a smash hit. Okay. So 9 songs. Girl, you should have made this an EP. You don't need to drop no album. Ice Spice, and somebody said this on, I think it was Academics. I don't listen to nothing that little mouth says. But when he talked about how, at the time, before Ice Spice came out with this announcement, he thought that Ice Spice would never drop an album because there's no need for her to drop. Every quarter of the year, she'll just drop a trendy TikTok sounding song, and it becomes the moment of that time. And she'll keep doing this, and she'll remain relevant and remain in the talks of her being a rapper and this, that, and the third. Her doing an album, I just don't see how it's going to pan out, being and also that it's only 9 tracks. And are we going to be a little bit versatile? Are we going to play with new things? I'm worried. And I want this to do just like I want Meg's album to do well. I love these girls. I'm a little worried. Okay. But that's besides the point. I don't want to get into the album. I thought, like I said, I thought it was going to be a little bit more grander. But this is the same girl that wore Baby Fat to the Grammys. Okay. So we're going to get a little Subway pick. Okay. We got all the aspects of New York. I spot the little Metro card. Okay. I was like, oh yeah, girl. She's definitely, she gets A for practical effects, because that all that's going on, it looks real. I still was expecting something different. And also, and this is what people was pointing out too on social media, the name of your first album is on a trash can. The jokes will write themselves if this flops. I'm sorry. So meta, right? Very much meta. Girl, not you. And she was coming back after people on social media. I don't know what she was saying, but she was like snapping back at people that was essentially like joking on her album cover and saying that it wasn't all that. I'm not going to say that this was bad. It's like, I'm not going to really say that the Megan one was bad either. It's eclectic, okay? It's definitely different. I don't get it. I don't get the direction. Maybe I will when I get the music. Who knows? It's just not what I expected to be the first album cover of yours. Like, when you look at, and I'm just bringing people up, I'm not trying to pit. I'm not trying to do any of that, okay? But even when you look at Nicki Minaj's first album, and like, she used a lot of practical effects. I mean, it was with the whole doll, like she made herself into a doll. Like, that was freaking iconic. Like, that was, she had a lot of, it was on set, okay? Wasn't a lot of editing. It made edits where it needed to be edits, but for the most part, that was a good ass idea. Oh my goodness, she called herself a Barbie. She made herself into a doll, and she really did look like one of those little Mattel dolls. When you think about Invasion of Privacy, look, I don't mess with Cardi, but I got to give her props. Invasion of Privacy, that was a banging ass album cover. Very big production. You get what I'm saying? And there's many more. I loved Meg Thee Stallion's first Good News. That was cute. And she stayed with that theme throughout the whole era of that album, despite it getting the numbers that it got. But it still was, it looked good, I don't know what's going on with these album covers. I just don't know. I really don't know. And it's not really just them, because I don't want to, we're pointing them out because they're the ones that are talked about this week. A lot of album covers nowadays are really declining. Like, even when you think about these older artists, like, I'm gonna be honest, and I'm sorry. Actually, no, I'm not sorry. Screw y'all. If y'all want to come in my comments and curse me out. Tortured Poets department, Taylor, you could have done freaking better. You could have done better. What the hell was that? Okay, that looked like something that was made on, remember them old Instagram editing apps, like InShot? Like, and then you had, and I used to hate, I did it back then because I wanted to be like everybody. I didn't want to be like everybody else, but I was riding the wave. But then looking back, I'm like, ill. When they like, when you got the picture, it was always on Instagram. And you make the picture smaller so that the little white part can be in the background. So you can have a little frame. Ugh. Like digital frames. Ill. You did that on on an album? Ugh. Brother, ugh. Okay. I gotta be honest. And I'm not, look. Okay. Okay, Beyonce, Beehive people, look, don't fight me in the comments. Please don't fight me in the comments. But why were we on a horse again? Again? Okay, I get it. It's Cowboy Carter. You a cowgirl. Okay, you on a horse. But damn, like another horse? Is the third album going to be another horse? So I say all that to say the album covers are just not hitting it like it used to back in the day. Like, I don't know, even back when Beyonce had her self-titled and it was just Beyonce, like, I don't know, it came with a theme behind it too. Like, I don't know, child. Maybe I'm just ranting and raving, child. Tell me if I'm ranting and raving in the comments, honey. Tell me what y'all think about these album covers. Did y'all like it? Did y'all didn't like it? Did they need to work on it? They need to do another shoot? What's going on? But yeah, anyway, let's move on. I do want to talk about Young Miami because she got an interview, right? And she candidly spoke on the City Girls' demise from her perspective and says that they ultimately realized that their projects together weren't connecting and were better off doing solo things. Listen to what she has to say.
The City Girls album just dropped and it didn't do too well, and we was just like trying to do our press run. You know, the whole rollout of the album was just so bad because we was just in two different spaces. Like, we older now, and it was just like she was doing her own thing. She on the West Coast. I'm in Miami. I'm doing my own thing, and I felt like naturally when she doing her own thing, it just worked for her. And when I'm doing my own thing, it worked for me. But when we get together as a group, it just wasn't connecting. Like, it just wasn't working no more. So I think we both was at a point where we was just like, we probably should just do our own shit. Right. But that was the point for me.
I love that for them. I love that for them. Okay. It was only a matter of time. I think that they had some really good, like, summer bangers. And it's about to sound real messed up, but I don't know. I like the City Girls when JT was in jail. And I'm not saying I want to see JT in jail because, girl, I'm a JT stan. But I don't know. The music was just hitting a little bit. I wish she would have been there for the music visuals and stuff like that because I think it would have increased like their hype or whatever. She was away when a lot of their songs were getting on the charts and stuff like that. But I don't know. I just like that era. And it just was I don't want to say that the City Girls are just a one-trick pony, but it's just like, how much can they do talking about the same things and it being the same type of context? Because these girls, they gave the sex appeal, and that was the theme of being a city girl, scamming these dudes, this, that, and the third. Like, it was a thing for them. And then now, I guess when we're talking about evolution, there was just no evolution within the group. And then they also just weren't seeing eye to eye because one's over here, one's over there, one's messing with this clique, and then one's messing with that clique. Okay, and these cliques do not get along. And okay, so that added on to the whole thing. I hated seeing them go back and forth with each other. That was just not a good moment. But I think that they're just good and they're successful in their own rights when they're apart. I feel that way about like real friendships. And I say this to my best friend all the time. Like, when we were in school together, we used to bicker. Like, we was in the same class, everything. We used to bicker. We used to get into things. We almost ended our whole friendship being there because when you're together, I feel, and maybe it's just me. And I tell her that every time. I'm like, maybe it is just me. I can't be close to people like that I'm friends with. Like, when you are together and everyone's looking at you like, oh my God, they're best friends or whatever, there's going to be people that's going to infiltrate that and try to break y'all apart or have their specific opinions. Oh, she said this about you, or I don't like the way she did that. You should definitely be concerned. It's that because people really used to say that with my best friend or whatever. And it did cause us to bang. I wouldn't say fight. We ain't fight, child. We used to get into arguments and stuff like that. It wasn't until she actually left because she went to another school to pursue what she was pursuing. I feel like our friendship never was at its peak, and it is at its peak now because I don't really see her that much. As it is, we talk on the phone a lot, but we don't see each other physically. So I think that maybe it's just good for them that they do separate and venture out into their own thing. We see JT is evolving. I don't know what's going on with Young Miami. I love the whole Oprah moment that she was doing. Unfortunately, she probably got to distance herself from Revolt and over there at Diddy Play. But I love the song that JT just dropped. And why I don't know why I lost it, but it was literally just in my head. But y'all know the song that she just dropped, child. Let me look it up, child. For y'all be like, how you gonna like it and you don't know what the name is, girl? Look. Okay, there we go. I knew it was a simple name. Like, that song was cute and it's a new beginning for her. Like, I definitely see her evolving into, a lyricist. Because I feel like her being in the group, it diminished her lyricism because let's be very clear, JT is a lyricist. I don't care what nobody says. I don't care anybody getting in my comments talking about something. Oh, you just saying that because of X, Y, and Z, this, that, and third. You wrong. You don't know nothing about it. Man, look, from what I've heard so far, she is a good lyricist. She makes those lines that you got to sit down and be like, oh, that's what she meant. Okay. You had to look at it different because you wasn't hearing it the first time. Young Miami's lines are digestible. Like, you get it. I keep a baby Glock. I ain't fighting with no random, period. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's funny. It's entertaining. Yeah, I keep a baby like, girl, yeah. JT's verse is more, okay, I got to sit with this for a second. Like Nicki said, with her music, you're not going to get it the first time. Okay, you're not going to get it the first time. And that's just how JT is. And I think them being apart, like I said, is probably the best thing that they ever did. I'm here for it. And it looks like their relationship is thriving now. I don't know. Who really knows what's going on behind closed doors, but it does look like it's doing something, Gerald. Tell me what y'all think. Anyway, we can move on. What's the next thing that I want to get into, child? Trina, since we gotta talk about, since we're on the conversation of female rappers, it's only safe or fair to talk about Trina. She sat with Carlos King, and they got into a lot, including her iconic career, being from Miami, not winning awards, and her relationship with Nicki Minaj. If y'all don't know, she collaborated with Nicki back in 2019 with Baps, but it was a lot of controversy after that. If you recall, Reginald Saunders, former A&R of Trina's Rockstar music group, called Nicki a deceiver and manipulator for her lack of support for the track. However, Trina shut that down, and this isn't the first time she's acknowledged this. She has when that situation happened, she was like one of the first people to come out and be like, hey, I don't know what the hell's going on over here, but that's not a direct reflection of me. Now, I ain't gonna lie, it did take her a minute to say something because people's looking at Trina. If he's saying this, he's probably hearing this from you. But she quickly came out and was like, no, I don't know what he's talking about. Look, here's the thing. I think Nicki did promote it, like she posted it. And I believe at the time she was with Apple Music with her Cream Radio. She played it a couple times. I don't know what you want her to do. Clearly, this song wasn't video worthy. The song wasn't good. I'm going to be frank. Okay, the song didn't do well because of Nicki's lack of promotion. We have seen people get on songs and not promoted. We seen when Beyonce got on Savage, didn't do nothing but a verse. Meg was promoting that song on her damn back. And it still was a smash hit. Nicki when she got on the Doja song, Say So, went number 1. Nicki probably made like a post about it or whatever, this, that, and the third. That's all you can do. Like, girl, what did you expect her to do? But see, here's the thing. I see how Trina... And I'm going to just let her talk. I'm going to let her talk to hear what she has to say, and I'm going to come back with my thoughts.
Seriously, my butt off for this album. All the features on the album, from Miss Kelly Price to Nicki Minaj to 2 Chainz to Lil Wayne to everybody that was on the album. And we got this far, and you guys came to me and said, this is the record we put out as a single. So once you said that, it gassed me up.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to do my calls and reach out and make sure my part is done. So you don't have to do all the extra work. I'm just going to hit her up myself. But I'm going to send you what she's saying so we can get the proper people to handle it. Yeah. And I feel like they didn't do it. They dropped the ball, and I just felt the way. And yeah, when that happened, somebody that was working with me on my team had, I don't know if they went live or was it Bigo? What was happening at the time? Was it live?
It was, this person said, I believe he called Nicki Minaj a manipulator, manipulative, and I'm with you. I don't know if it was a live or a tweet.
I don't know if it was a live or was it on or social media or Twitter. I don't know, remember so ideally what it was.
Yeah.
But I just remember everybody just like hitting me up, ringing me up. And when I saw it, I was like, what the hell are you doing? And his response was like, I'm just feeling mad because we did all this work and we got this song and she's not helping out and she's not, and I was like, you're wrong. It don't work like that. You're on this side, but you're not on the business side. Mm-hmm. You just on partially creative side, but you're not cutting no checks, okay? So therefore, I felt like this is my team. Everybody that was working for me on this side was blindsided like me. I felt like he acted out of emotion, but you don't act out of emotion on live against a celebrity. That's somebody that I know, that I have a relationship with, a friendship
You're
with. You was wrong.
Her. Yeah.
So I'm going to put you in your place.
That person, and I remember that video, when that video came out, of that person talking about Nicki not promoting the song. I'm just like, the fact that Trina was right. You don't know what's happening on their side of the story. We've seen Nicki give Coil Ray a Spotify ad. She has helped promote behind the scenes. It's not just posting on Instagram, because let's be very clear. Like, we've seen people that have been reposted by Kim Kardashian and their shit not go nowhere. Let's be clear. Social media does not mean, or posting about it or talking about it on social media does not increase the chances of it going viral. If it's going to go viral, it's going to go viral, but it did not. It didn't. You don't know what Nicki was doing behind closed doors to get this played on radios or what type of production. So I think that's to jump the gun like that as a person. You're behind the scenes. You're not like there's a place. There is definitely a place when you are working with celebrities. Like, you don't speak out for them, like, because then now I'm pretty sure Nicki probably was ready to curse out Trina. Like, what the hell going on? Like, it was, that whole situation was asinine. I wish she would have got into her little cousin Bobby. Bobby Lice said something too. I'm pretty sure she probably cursed his ass out behind closed doors. But like, girl, I'm glad that was an interesting little interview. I didn't see all of it. I just seen like little clips of her interview with Carlos, but it did seem like it was a good listen. So I'll pour y'all to watch it. We can move on off of this chair. Now, let's get into Kanye. Girl. So we got some things to get into with this. Okay. So Kanye West is in the hot seat after being hit with a new lawsuit by an old assistant. Now, Lauren Piscata, we're going to call her Lauren for the rest of this little excerpt that I'm reading. She says she was already an OnlyFans model when Kanye met her while putting together a fashion line in July 2021. He hired her shortly after. She even worked on a few songs from the Donda album. Okay, we get into the music bag. Now, a year later, she said that Kanye spoke to her about wanting to be godlike, okay, and was asking her to get rid of her OnlyFans and offering her like $1 million a year in exchange. Lauren agreed, okay, because yeah, I'm gonna get $1 million a year versus what I'm doing on OnlyFans. Come on. Things took a strange turn afterwards. Kanye allegedly began to send her vile messages such as, see, my problem is I be wanting to F, but then after I F, I want a girl to tell me how hard I've been F'd. Okay. Because I'm reading this like, girl, what's going on? While I'm F'ing them. Like, girl, what the hell? In that, he apparently goes into sexual fantasies with vulgar language. He also said that my D is racist. It is. This effing racist D is mine. I'm going to beat this effing racist D for being a effing racist. Okay. I'm going to stare at pictures of white women with black asses and beat this out. I'm like, oh my goodness. Like, he's basically using her text message thread as a diary. Because I don't want to go in deep anymore, child, because I'm mortified already. She even says that Ye would do the nasties during phone calls and would ask her to guess what he was doing. Beyond that, she alleges that he was also obsessed with the D size of her boyfriends. There's multiple texts, including alleged videos of he having sex with a model. After the harassment, he promoted Lauren to chief of staff and gave her a $4 million salary. October 2022, she got the boot and was offered a $3 million severance, which he never fulfilled. Oop. She's hitting him for wrongfully termination, sexual harassment, breach of contract, and a hostile work environment, Chad. Okay. Now, Kanye West did respond. Now, his team makes a response. Okay. Now, they say, in response to these baseless allegations, Ye will be following a lawsuit against Lauren, who actively pursued him sexually to coerce employment and other material benefits, then engage in blackmail and extortion when her advances were rejected. Okay, the rep also claims that Lauren was fired from Yeezy because she was unqualified for the position and kept requesting for outrageous amounts of money. Okay. The legal team also claims that Lauren is actually one of the ones that started being sexual with Kanye. He says, she said. Now, does she got a paper trail? Because if she got a paper trail, it's time. It is time to leak it. Leak all them text messages. Okay? All of it. I hope she screenshot everything. Okay? Now, I said this before and I'll say this again. Kanye West is a whole mess. But now he's like a contradictory now. Like he's a walking contradictory. Now, this is what I was going to say on TMZ, right? You're going to tell me how you going to make this girl leave OnlyFans? To quit her job, to be more godlike, for you to then say that you're going to start and bring out this little Yeezy porn rollout. She can't do it. You told her she could have been losing out on hundreds of thousands of dollars because you was going to pay her $1 million yearly. You reneged on it. You didn't do it. You fired her and said you were going to give her a severance package that you never gave. And now you're doing Yeezy porn? Oh no, if I was that girl, I would sue him for punitive damages. Okay, pain and suffering. Okay, let's be very clear. What you did, I could have made some money off of this. A lot of time I was working with your ass, and now you want to fire me because of X, Y, and Z? And you not gonna give me my severance back? Girl, Kanye, I don't know. She might. I'm waiting on the receipts. At the end of the day, I want the receipts. Okay, because look, we all know that people like to come out and try to extort celebrities. That is a real thing. Kanye, it just looks on brand for him to be like this. He said so much stuff in the past couple years. I really don't put it past him, the things that this girl is saying. I don't know, but this is weird. But tell me what y'all think about it in the comments. We're going to move away from this topic. Now, I want to get into Rihanna. So Rihanna then announced that she is dropping a hair care line called Fenty Hair. Okay. The news was shared Tuesday through an Instagram post unveiling her plans to enter and dominate in the hair care industry. Rihanna said a family is moving in. Fenty Hair is pulling up, and it's time to finally have the hair experience you've been waiting for. So I'm launching a flexible line of products that not only are for every hair, but every single product is designed to strengthen and repair all types of hair, which is what we truly need. It's time to play and get stronger by style. Ooh, Beyonce, you got 48 hours. Like, nah. It's coming in June 13th. So she had this plan. This was potted up. And this was like months after Beyonce done dropped Sacred. And Sacred was definitely rumored to drop. She's been working on this for years, so far what we've heard. My first thing is, when I look at the comments, the first thing I see, child, how is she promoting the hair care line with a whole Gilda wig on? Girl had the shake and go on. Okay, girl, the little kitten wig. And you promoting Fenty Hair. But look, here's the thing. Like I said with Sacred, just because people wear wigs does not mean that they don't keep the hair that's under those wigs. Okay, let's be very clear. You wear a wig, that don't mean you don't do nothing. That don't mean people are not doing nothing to their hair under it. Okay, wigs can be considered protective hairstyles. Okay, just like your bonnets and your wave caps and all that. Okay. I definitely found it interesting that she chose to do it at this time. I'm interested to see what she has to offer. Speaking about Beyonce, since I brought her up, folks were mad that she's basically kicking off this business venture after Beyonce dropped hers like a couple of months ago. Like, now see, at first, when I first saw this little commercial thing, I seen this on social media. I'm like, oh, she doing the wig line. Nope, hair care. I'm like, girl, what? At the end of the day, nobody owns the copyright to a hair care line. But Rihanna, we ain't want to wait a year. I don't know, like fans were going back and forth and Rihanna fans were coming at Beyonce fans was coming at Rihanna fans. It's just, it gets real tired when we see two, because at this point, at y'all big ages, because let's be clear, if you are a Beyonce and Rihanna fan, you are no longer a Gen Z. Like you're at the cusp of Gen Z. You're like on to the next generation. You're definitely mid to late to early. We're talking mid 20s, late 20s, early 30s. You get what I'm saying? Y'all over here going back and forth about these two iconic women that's doing their thing in the industry. But y'all, look, and I think I'm not going to pick and choose who started it because I did see some Fenty fans started, really, honestly, Beyonce fans. Y'all both are dragging it. Like, at the end of the day, you either gonna get some Sacred or you gonna get some Fenty Hair. It ain't that damn serious. I don't know. Girl, Stan Twitter is so annoying. I'm like I said, I'm definitely interested to see what she has to offer. I seen what the little bottles look like and how I would try this. This look like this is gonna be sold at Walmart and stuff, okay? And I'm not trying to say it look cheap. I'm not trying to say that. But this might be affordable. I don't know. I might need to cop me some Fenty Hair, honey. I might have to see what it does. Because I've been looking for a new hair care. Tell me, girl, child, put me on. Don't gatekeep, child. Okay, tell me. Because I be trying shea butter. I got this right here. Girl, I don't know if y'all know what this is, child. It be doing something, but it don't be like, I don't know. I feel like my hair, girl, can't work with no type of hair care, child. My shit is just too, coarse or whatever the case is. So I'm gonna see about Rihanna's hair. I'm gonna see about the little hair, Fenty Hair. Okay. Y'all will tell me what y'all think about in the comments. We got to get into, I think, our last topic, which is Tyler Perry. Yeah, Tyler. Tyler Perry is in the works to write and direct. Write and direct. Are you serious? A new Netflix film called Straw. Okay. Now, it's expected to follow a single Black mother who faces a series of unfortunate events. According to the logline, she becomes entangled in a situation she never imagined and finds herself at the center of suspicion in a world that seems indifferent to her existence. This is like the Get Out, your version of Get Out or something like that. Like, girl, Tyler's so predictable. At this point, I think I know the entire plot. Let me guess. She's gonna find like a mixed, like muscular, light-skinned dude that's gonna save her from whatever she's going through, and they're gonna get married. Like, girl, it is so predictable. Hearing the synopsis of this story, it sounds very formulaic. It sounds like the storylines that he's been doing for years, starting with Diary of a Mad Black Woman. The cast list that is on this, I had to look this up. So we're talking about Taraji P. Henson, Sherry Shepherd, Tiana Taylor. Who else? Sinbad is supposed to be in this. What are we doing? And these are some pretty good actors and actresses. Okay, let's be very clear. Let's have them doing something good. And I don't mean like good as in not bad, like illegal or anything like that. But I don't know if, I can't even trust him. He's writing it. And that's another, I got to layer this topic because I really wanted to get into this. I think Tyler has a kink for simulating struggling Black women in film. I think it's a kink to him at this point because he does it so much. Like, how many different ways can I put these Black women characters through trauma? I'm not with the community of people that believe that Black film shouldn't show trauma or struggle, because how can you tell a good story without it? Every movie has some type of trauma, has some type of struggle. that antagonist that puts somebody through the ringer. Like, that's what movies are made of. But the constant targeting of a specific group. And I know he does it in a way because he wants to pander to, because he has a lot of black women, older black women. We're talking Gen X, 40s, 50s, this and the third. They watch a lot of his stuff. They get into a lot of his stuff. I got family members that will watch Tyler down, okay? They watch everything he makes. Every little show they're watching, it's like the best thing since sliced bread. But everybody else, we see through the content, right? But it's really dangerous because it's not dangerous, but it's just it's corny because it's just, you're a one-trick pony. You can only excel when you're making movies like this. We never see him do this with black male characters unless the male character is an antagonist and the female lead is like vulgarly attacking him or trying to kill him or trying to do whatever. That's the only time we see black men on there get trauma, when they've been the bad guys and they've been putting them through the ringer, giving them trauma. I remember that show about this older black woman that dated this young dude that used her for money and being in the house. And it just was crazy. And then she ended up killing the dude just very violently and vulgarly. Like, it was just, okay. Even when you look at Taraji P. Henson in Acrimony, I always found that movie to be very off-putting. Because at the end of the day, girl, and people will justify, and it's crazy too. I'm talking to people about this, and people will justify Taraji P. Henson's character. Like, no, the girl is crazy. I don't care what somebody does to you. If you start acting like that, and if you defending that girl, you look a little scary. Anyway, I just want Tyler to venture out into other things. This is a person that has not evolved, and I get it. Because he talked about it in interviews before. He's serving his niche, okay? It's not the 2000s no more. It's not early 2000s at least, okay? One of these days, people are going to figure out that what they've been watching is garbage, and they're going to stop watching, and that's going to affect you, okay? Because you don't know how to evolve. You got mad at Oprah. You took all your little stuff off of Oprah because Oprah was telling you the truth, and you went to a platform that's going because they make bad content. Talk about BET. BET been making bad content since the 2010s. It's dog water content, and it's crazy because you got a big ass studio. Marvel is using your studios. That's how state of the art it is. And you're making content like this. Where's the black superhero movies? Where's the Space Odyssey movies? And I'm not even just saying keeping it black. You can have other artists in there. Mentor a group of black preferably, but mentor a new wave of filmmakers. It seemed like with Tyler, he never had a seat at the table, right? Because a lot of people looked at his films like, it was like, girl, what is this? Never got the Oscar, never really got any prestigious awards. So he bases his whole personality on just having my own table, having this, and I don't need that. And I get that. That's cool. But we got to evolve a little bit. We got to change. I care about making good content more than making my own table and like, I don't care about that stuff. Like, I want to make good content. I want to hone in on what I'm creating. I don't want to just serve the niche that I have right now because you'll never really grow. I want to make content for everybody. I want to expand my listenership, and I want to, well, not really the listenership, but I just want to expand the podcast in itself. I'm still working on this show. This show isn't done. This show isn't finite. This is not what I'm going to be doing probably 100 episodes from now. Okay. So I don't know. Like, his inability to evolve at his big age in this industry. But most billionaires are like that. They don't do too much. They just make a lot of money making stuff that's not good and getting a lot of money for it. Like, I just think that it's unfortunate because you have a studio that it's, like I said, state of the art. And I looked at it, the videos and stuff that came out. Like, oh my goodness, like, it looks good, but the content isn't. I don't know. I think that this movie, I'm not going to be watching this movie. Just like I ain't watched that movie with the Kelly Rowland. Girl. I think that was a little bit different. That was a little bit different for him. Because from what I heard Kelly Rowland was doing, I don't know, child. It could be a little bit different, but I don't know. Do something else. Get writers. I'm tired of you writing. That's another thing too. I'm tired of him writing. Stop writing. Directors can't write. I don't care what I don't care. I've been to film classes. Look, I didn't go to film school. I got my little degree in media arts at the third, but I did take some film classes. I took screenwriting. I took all that. Like a director directs, okay? Directors, they are making sure everything is going smoothly. They're making sure that the lines are being delivered good or this, that, and the third. They are considered artists as well. But like for you to not hire writers continuously, I think that really is the problem. Because he has content before where he had writers, best things ever, best movies ever. I'm pretty sure he had writers for The Family That Prays. I'm pretty sure he had writers for The Singles Mothers Club, Good Deeds, Daddy's Girls. You get what I'm saying? And when he did House of Pain with the sitcom shows, and I think a little bit of Mr. Brown, these were good. This is good content. I think when he started writing his own, like I think that's when he started doing Temptation. That's when he started writing all his own stuff. We talking like all of the Madea Boo movies, just Madea movies in general. Just, girl. His shows that's on BET that they just be forcing down our throats. Okay. Girl, this is not good, child. Anyway, I don't want to rip into him too much because I love to see a black person be successful, and he really, he turned lemons into lemonade with his life story and stuff like that, and how he grew up poor, and that's all he did, like plays and stuff like that. And he became a billionaire. That's like monumental. And he will always get my flowers for that. But you didn't take it farther and try to really gag the girl. Cause I know Tyler got it in him. Just like I feel about some of these rappers and these artists that been around for a little bit, that don't really want to test the waters with some new content and a new wave or whatever. I'm just like, girl, what can you lose? I mean, you got your fan, you got your diehards that's going to watch whatever. At least make some good content out of it. But I don't know. Y'all tell me what y'all think in the comments. I'm about to eat because I'm hungry as hell. This will come out on Friday, child. I hope y'all enjoy it. Please be sure to like the video. We got to beat that algorithm, child. Comment too. And yeah, I'll see you guys on Monday.